And you're listening to it on News Talk 710 KURV, Edinburgh, McAllen, Harlingen, Brownsville.
He used a flamethrower on a crowd. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A man now jailed in Boulder, Colorado, accused of carrying out what's being investigated as a terror attack.
Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd.
Now, FBI Special Agent Mark McCulloch says 8 people were burned and hospitalized.
The reason the feds were so quick to call this a terror attack is because of what the alleged attacker said, Free Palestine, and who he targeted, a group of people who were rallying to free Hamas's hostages.
That's Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House.
The suspect is a 45-year-old Egyptian man who overstayed a visa in 2022. That's what makes him an illegal immigrant. And police searching Mohammed Sabri Soliman's house in nearby El Paso County, Colorado, last night.
Now, he is facing assault and weapons and murder charges, though we have no reports of anyone being killed in the attack. And while those people attacked in Colorado protesting against Hamas, Israel hit Hamas with another airstrike today that Palestinian officials just said killed 14 people. The day after accusing Israel of killing 31 in a crowd near a food distribution site, the Israelis claim they only fired warning shots and not at civilians. There are new peace talks today in Turkey between Russia and Ukraine, which had carried out a big attack over the weekend using drones deep inside Russia, taking out warplanes and missile launchers.
Not many people think these talks will lead to a breakthrough. The two sides are far apart in demands. Russia has so far rejected Ukraine's call for an unconditional ceasefire before negotiating a long-term truce. Kyiv's accused Vladimir Putin of stalling for time.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The manhunt continues for 3 escaped prisoners. 2 broke out of a jail in New Orleans more than 2 weeks ago. Another escaped from a prison in Arkansas over a week ago. America's listening to Fox News.
This is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the nation's largest family law firm, but we're more than just size. We're part of your community. With offices across the country, our attorneys and staff live and work right where you do. And because we're local, we know your courts, your laws, and your legal community. When divorce puts your future on the line, you need a firm that's both powerful and personal. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Offices in San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of our firm's San Antonio area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
No one wants to leave behind stress for their family. That's why a trust or a will is so important. Without one, your assets might go to the wrong people or leave out loved ones. Also, probate is long, expensive, and often avoidable with a revocable trust. TrustandWill.com makes it simple to create a personalized estate plan. A trust or will provides clarity and peace of mind. Get 20% off on your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/radio.
President Trump's big, beautiful bill will be worked on this week in the Senate. Some of his fellow Republicans who do approve of the tax cut extension and increased border security worry the bill will also add to the debt and deficit, so they oppose it as it is. GOP Senator Ron Johnson tells Fox Sunday Morning Futures,
I want to see him succeed, but again, my loyalty is to the American people, to my kids and grandkids.
All Democrats oppose the bill, saying the Medicaid cuts already in it will take health coverage and food assistance from millions of Americans. House Republicans already approved the bill last month.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says he's telling critics he doesn't see the big, beautiful bill as a spending plan, but as a reconciliation bill, highlighting cuts to unchecked spending over the years. On NBC's Meet the Press, Speaker Johnson said what the government wants to do is groundbreaking.
There's no government on planet Earth that's ever saved over $1.6 trillion in a piece of legislation. This one does. And so when you reduce government spending and you allow people to keep more of their hard-earned money, the economy grows.
Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Drama off the coast of New England yesterday.
A man and a teenage girl were pulled from Long Island Sound after their small plane crashed near the Connecticut coastline. The 6-seater Piper PA-32 went down Sunday near the Thimble Islands about 10 minutes after taking off from the airport in Bridgeport. The occupants put out a desperate call for help. They were cleared for an emergency landing at nearby Tweed, New Haven Airport, but couldn't make it. The FAA says the plane sank quickly. However, the Coast Guard got to the scene in time to pull the two out of the water. They were taken to a nearby hospital for treatment for minor injuries. Daria Albinger, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are down. before a new month of trading after gains in May for the Dow more than 4% and the NASDAQ nearly 10%. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's all-American truck headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Happy Monday. It is now June 2nd, 2025. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News. News Talk 710 KURV is also at the free app that is called Radio Para Mi. Download it today. You could be listening on your tablet, your smart device. Show producer Fred Cruz. I'm Sergio Sanchez. We're joined by AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordy. Going to be heating up things up to triple digits this week. Conversation coming up in about 3 minutes, so stick around. Texas lawmakers granting the new city of Starbase, Texas, authority to close down Cameron County Beach and the highway that leads to it. A section of a House bill would allow the Texas Space Commission to coordinate with local officials and close roads and venues for public safety reasons. So this measure in the Texas House, approved by the governor, moves the authority to order the closure of Boca Chica Beach and State Highway 4 from the county to Starbase, Texas. Other news out of Austin, cell phones out, 10 commandments in. First up, John Mark Dempsey with a bill that is banning cell phones from K through 12 classrooms. That heads over to the governor for his signature.
House Bill 1481, introduced by State Representative Caroline Fairley of Amarillo, seeks to restrict the use of cell phones in kindergarten through the 12th grade. The Texas Senate passed the bill unanimously. It also received overwhelming support in the House on a vote of 136 to 10 in April. KXAN Television reports that under the bill, students will not be allowed to use their cell phones during the school day. School districts will decide where students can store their phones. Students who need their phones for medical or safety reasons will be allowed to keep them.
The governor will likely sign into law a bill that requires every public school in Texas to display the 10 Commandments.
And it's promised there will be lawsuits if he does. Patrick Elliott is the legal director at the Freedom from Religion Foundation. He says they will sue school districts to block them from putting the 10 Commandments up. Nearly 50 years ago, the Supreme Court ruled that the First Amendment forbids public schools from posting the 10 Commandments in classrooms.
This is mandating a particular religious statement, a particular version of the 10 Commandments to try to improperly influence young and impressionable students to venerate and adopt those commandments.
His group was successful in blocking the implementation of a similar law in Louisiana. Barbara Schwartz, News Talk 710 KURV.
It's 7:08 on the Valley's Morning News. Since 2021, the only legal path for paying college athletes has been through name and image and likeness sponsorship deals. Until now,
Governor Abbott's expected to sign House Bill 126 into law. It would allow Texas colleges to pay student athletes directly. The change in state law is made necessary to address an upcoming $2.8 billion NCAA court settlement that'll need to be paid out to Division I college student athletes. State Senator Brandon Creighton sponsored the bill.
And ultimately, that $20 million amount that all universities will receive, they will need to work with the college athletes to disperse.
$20 million would also be the salary cap on schools going forward. In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
College diploma, college degree, no longer necessary for many jobs. We will review that right after AccuWeather. Time is 7:09. It's AccuWeather time. AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordy joining us. First up, I want to say thank you to Dougie and all the gang over at Martin Farm and Ranch. Hey, look at that. We got triple-digit weather coming back. It's going to be a scorcher. Make sure your cattle have Purina liquid feed. Go see Dougie at Martin Farm and Ranch. Certified dealer for Purina liquid feed is Martin Farm and Ranch. So triple digits I see. I thought last week, Jeffrey, when we were talking, you mentioned maybe some rain early in the week. I guess what? We're pulling that. Any chance of rain for the next several days?
Yeah, we're going to pull it, but we're not going to pull the cloud cover. So at least there is that. As we go throughout the day today and into tonight, we're going to pretty much end up on the cloudy side. but then the rest of the week is varying between partly to mostly sunny skies and temperatures ranging in the low to upper 90s. And then by Thursday and Friday, we're looking at triple digits.
Yeah, it doesn't fail. But we hit triple digits in many spots here in South Texas. Just give us plenty of sun, clear skies. We'll be hitting triple digits. Anybody have rain in Texas, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston? Anybody?
Dallas will see it tomorrow and into Wednesday, and some of those could be heavy to severe with hail, damaging winds, and even possibility of some tornadoes. Houston will be dry-ish, maybe a thunder shower tomorrow or Wednesday. And then San Antonio is kind of the same thing. So it looks like it's going to be more isolated to the northern, area.
Okay. Long range forecast now that we're in tropical season, tropical update. Anything to report? I know you mentioned last week, mid-June, computers were teasing something.
And that's where we're still looking at. June 7th through 12th is the more conducive, tropical development for the Gulf and Western Caribbean. We did just put out, or at least internally, a question regarding an upcoming potential off of the coast of Florida. It would be more or less, I think it could get to, I said it was going to get to depression status. The consensus so far is potentially just a tropical rainstorm, which is lower than depression.
By when might
June 4th to the 5th.
Okay, and that's not the one that you mentioned, June 7th onward,
June 7th onward is a different scenario, and that's off of the coast of Africa, and we're going to have to see how that survives with the Saharan dust and how the, Bermuda High is, going to act at that point.
Let's see, checking the menu for today. One of my favorites, rotisserie chicken day.
Ooh, yum.
Juicy. Oh, my good. You like the skin? Yes?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
If you get rid of the skin, you might as well leave. I don't want to talk to you. Like, that's the best part.
Yeah, that's my favorite portion of it. All seasoned. It's all juicy. Yeah, that's rotisserie chicken day for today. And it's good enough for breakfast, man. I'm craving that stuff. Put
it on waffles.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. It's the same thing like fried chicken, except this one's rotisserie. It's healthy because it's
exactly.
It's not fried, right? But
no. Well, I like them both, but rotisserie is good on waffles too.
Attaboy. Call you next hour. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine. And big thank you to Dougie and all the gang over at Martin Farm and Ranch for providing a 7 o'clock AccuWeather. Yeah, it's going to be triple digits somewhere in South Texas, Mid-Valley, Western Valley, because we got the forecast 93 to 99. 93 at the coast and probably triple digits somewhere in the Western Valley, Mid-Valley. That is your AccuWeather forecast. The time is 7:13. About a quarter of employers say that by the end of the year, they no longer will be requiring a college degree.
A survey of 1,000 hiring managers by Resume Templates shows employers moving away from bachelor's degrees towards certifications or experience when hiring. They say it opens the door for many who can't afford a degree or choose a different path to be able to get jobs with the potential to lift people out of poverty. Companies without degree requirements reported a surge in applications, a more diverse applicant pool, and the ability to offer lower salaries. The hiring managers also say practical skills related to AI tools and soft skills, such as strong interpersonal and communication skills, are important.
The White House says a trade deal with China is coming.
White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett was asked about the status of trade negotiations on ABC's This Week. He said the trade team has been focused 100% like a laser beam on the China matter. Hassett adds that he expects President Trump will update the tariff plan this week. Trump accused China of violating its trade deal and announced that he was doubling steel and aluminum tariffs. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Anyone in default on student loans and receiving a Social Security direct deposit, or I wonder if they still do checks. Well, anybody receiving Social Security and also defaulted on a student loan, yeah, the government might be withholding some of that money. And a bill that would require air conditioning in Texas prisons, it died in the Texas Senate.
Passed out of the House, the bill would have required air conditioning installed in phases by the end of 2032, with each phase capped at $100 million. Dr. Amit Dominic, the founder and president of Texas Prisons Community Advocates, says this is the political will of Upper Texas leadership.
Well, the propaganda would state that they're all murderers and rapists and they all just need to suffer. And that's the general sentiment. However, what they're not acknowledging is this is well beyond punishment.
She says there are laws to protect dogs and pigs, the TDCJ, from summer heat, but nothing for inmates, and says the state is literally baking people, says prison guards are suffering as well. Barbara Schwartz, News Talk 710 KURV.
The time is 7:15. This is the Valley's Morning News on the first weekday for hurricane season in 2025. Yeah, hurricane season started for us in the Atlantic yesterday. And we'll get you updates on daily conversations with AccuWeather. Hope you can join us this entire season. And don't forget about the pooch. Don't forget precious Putin. The pets. Those are some of the things you need to think about. Like, what do you do with the pets in the event of an evacuation? Going to share with you a conversation with Tom Hushen. He's the Director of Emergency Management for Cameron County. Next on the Valley's Morning News.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic, available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
When it comes to livestock fencing, the folks at Martin Farm and Ranch believe that if you do it right, then you only do it once, which means by utilizing high-quality materials like Stay Tough fence products and Martin's expertise in fence building, you'll get exactly what you need to keep them in or keep them out. High-tensile wire like Stay Tough allows you to build your fence using less materials and labor. So for your next fence project, come see the fine folks at Martin Farm and Ranch Supply in Edinburgh. Just look for the horse.
This is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the nation's largest family law firm, but we're more than just size. We're part of your community. With offices across the country, our attorneys and staff live and work right where you do. And because we're local, we know your courts, your laws, and your legal community. When divorce puts your future on the line, you need a firm that's both powerful and personal. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Offices in San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of our firm's San Antonio area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
The voice of the next generation of conservatives.
The Charlie Kirk Show, weeknights at 8 on News Talk 710 KURV, KURV.com, and on the Radio Potomac app.
News Talk 710 KURV is your station in South Texas for Houston Astros baseball, weeknights and weekends. Astros baseball made possible by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women. Big thank you as well to the Mission Economic Development Office. Where June is here, and that means another tropical season is here for the Atlantic. That means we're firing up another tropical season. And at the lead in Cameron County at the Emergency Management Office is Tom Hushen for our county. It's been a while, Tom, since we've had a system. I guess we're due. First thing that came to mind was insurance coverage that everybody needs to check at the coast of Cameron County, right? Which is, I would imagine, is a little different in Cameron County than it is in Hidalgo County, if we can start there.
It is. Remember, for flood insurance, it takes 30 days, and you cannot get any kind of insurance if there's a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico. So we need to get those things early, especially on the flood and on your insurance. Make sure you've got a windstorm. Make sure you got wind-driven rain, all of those little add-ons that they have.
Mm-hmm. How many folks are at your office at Cameron County, or is it all precinct officers and all employees? That's what you have at your disposal.
Well, at the county level, when disaster strikes, everybody in the county is eligible to come into work if needed. So, we rely on all of our law enforcement partners. We rely on all the city's fire departments, the rescue crews, all of our public works, all the way down to our health department coming in and helping us out with phone calls. So it's a big brotherhood that we have at the county. And so when disaster strikes, we all come in.
If we have a bad storm, bad situation headed this way, how much square footage or what's the capacity when it comes to sheltering folks? I know we have one of these, what's like a FEMA shelter, like a little dome somewhere, but what else do you use?
Well, we really try not to shelter. Remember, if it's a Cat 4, we want people to evacuate.
Yeah.
We don't want them to hang around here, because that's the mentality that we have when somebody says, well, I don't have to leave yet. I'm not going to leave when they're telling me to leave because I'm just going to go to a FEMA dome. It sometimes doesn't work. And if we noticed on some of the domes that we've used when we did have the flood, we couldn't even get to the domes. They were flooded under. So this is a flooded area. This area floods, as you know, from the storms a few weeks back. 21 inches of rain, and we couldn't even drive on the highway.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, obviously, that was not a Cat 4. And sometimes it's the tropical systems, right? The weak systems or very slow moving Cat 1, something like that just dumps a lot of rain. That's the worst case scenario for us, I would imagine. The Cat 4 will come and go real quick, will, create a lot of damage. But
it depends. It depends. We have to always look at the speed of the storm. If it's a Cat 4, but it's moving at 10 miles an hour, that thing is going to do some heavy, heavy damage.
That's true.
Some of the worst storms that you've seen are going to be some of those tropical depressions that sit and drop in 25, 30 inches of rain. Hurricane Harvey dropped over 30 inches of rain, and that was a Cat 4, and that one was a slow-moving, very slow-moving Cat 4. So you also got to look at the storm surge. How much of a storm surge is there going to be? Because remember, all the water there from the rain has to go somewhere. It has to go to the ocean. Well, when the ocean is risen, all the way past Port Isabel, that's why we have these floods.
In a bad situation like that, where you have, God forbid, but we've heard reports like this out of Florida, for example, where they have like a 20-foot storm surge. They have wind and surf coming at you, high tide, everything in the right direction. Which areas of the county, coastal areas, would be most affected by this? You mentioned Port Isabel. Obviously, I would see where that would be the scenario. But like, how far inland would it go? Even into Brownsville, how far inland?
We look at everything on an evacuation for a very strong storm. We're looking at evacuating up to Harlingen. So that'll include most of Brownsville. That'll include the Laguna Madre area, Los Fresnos. All of that area will be looking to evacuate. We go by zones. The first zone is the Laguna Madre. The second one, it moves a little bit up closer to Los Fresnos. Then it covers most of Brownsville on a zone 3. So that's what you got to look out for, is the storm surge, the slow moving. And sometimes it's a 3 and we're thinking, okay, we're not going to evacuate. Don't forget this. And then all of a sudden it enhances to a Cat 4 or 5. It's very difficult to tell exactly where, when, and how strong.
So make an evacuation plan. That's another thing, especially if you are at the coast at South Padre, Port Isabel, at Brownsville, near the coast. You definitely need an evacuation plan. Tom Hushen is with the Emergency Management Office for our county. Have you guys at county purchased any new equipment, new pumps, things like that would be very useful in the event of a big flood?
Yes, we've been purchasing pumps over the years. We do have a good supply of pumps, and we utilized those during the last flood event. I think we had 13 pumps pumping over the levee. We had pumps over at the Orphanage Road area. We had pumps within cities. So we do have a good amount of pumps, and we also rely on our drainage districts on those pumps as well. They've been helping us out tremendously.
Very well then. How quickly could we evacuate areas really, really close to the coast? Of course, South Padre has its own issues. We've got just the Queen Isabella Causeway. We get to a certain wind speed, and they won't use the causeway anymore. You'll be stuck on the island.
Right.
And let's say more inland, where they can drive away, Port Isabel, areas really close to the coast in Brownsville. How many hours do we need to allow folks to get on the freeway and all that traffic to get out of the way, head up north on what we know is 77, now part of 69, but try to get them out of here? How many hours do we need?
You're going to need at least 72 hours, maybe even more than that. Because remember, when we're evacuating, depending on that storm, it could be Corpus evacuating. It could be a lot of other areas. So 77 is going to be closed up depending on the location of the storm. And then you're going to have some people who know that they flood up in Hidalgo County that are going to decide that they need to evacuate as well. So even though they may not be under an evacuation, you may have hundreds or thousands of people evacuating from some low-lying areas. At the same time, we're trying to evacuate, and you get that bottleneck up there in the at the turn going towards Edinburgh. Yeah. But it depends. Remember, the population of Brownsville is over 250,000. If we have to do a mass evacuation of the city of Brownsville, imagine that at 250,000 people trying to evacuate on 2 lanes, 2 roads.
You remember Hurricane Rita, which was after Katrina in Houston? Remember the traffic out of Houston?
Yes.
and the deaths that occurred as a result of that? People got stuck in traffic. It was hot before the storm. vehicles breaking down, people without medication, without water. I think we lost 200 something plus people trying to evacuate Houston, and they got big fat freeways headed in all directions. We don't here in South Texas. I don't know. God help us. I don't know if we get in a situation like that, we have a Cat 5 headed this way and people want to run for the hills far, far away. I'm thinking they need to go west, go through McAllen, maybe head north on 281, try to go west to Laredo. That might be the safe bet, because if they get stuck on Highway 77 with a Cat 5, which could happen, a lot of traffic trying to leave town, that's not a good scenario.
Well, remember, 77 will be blocked by a Department of Public Safety at a very early time. As soon as there's any threat to 77, they'll block it and move everybody through Raymondville.
So it's not part of contraflow then, 77.
Right. Contraflow is not part of it. And contraflow, if we do activate contraflow, we're looking at about 72 hours out. But that is a massive undertaking on the contraflow. That is a lot of exits that need to be blocked, and a lot of coordination between TxDOT, DPS, Border Patrol, and every single city all along the region.
Do you happen to know, I've never asked this before, in a contraflow situation, again, 77 would not be part of it. I'm glad you mentioned that. So it started what we know as 281, this portion of I-69, Highway 281, and then you can go west, I suppose. But would there be one lane designated for emergency traffic, or let's say a Walmart big truck or supplies to come on down to the valley and continue to reinforce as everybody's headed north on 281? Do you know?
Well, I know that 281 going towards Edinburgh will be the contraflow area. The Laredo one will not be. Coming in from the other side won't be on Military Highway. It'll be the main area going up.
So any traffic inbound will need to use that route to try to get to all those farm roads to that portion of 83. Either start at Laredo or other points to try to make it back in.
Right. But remember, during this time, contraflow doesn't last forever. It's only going to last for probably around 24 hours, 36 hours. If you don't get out during that time, it's going to be even more difficult to be able to get out. That's why we tell everybody, don't wait for somebody to tell you it's a mandatory evacuation. You know your residents, you know your area. If you don't feel safe, leave early. Nobody is keeping you here.
That's true. Make plans with family, or again, develop your own evacuation plan. If you're headed up to San Antonio or Houston, try to get those hotel reservations pinned down for several days. Do you have a storm kit? Do you have a storm preparation kit? And what do you have in it, Tom?
Well, remember, when we get a storm in the Gulf of Mexico, the county judge will order a disaster declaration extremely early, like probably around 90, 72 hours out. And the reason for that is so that if you have limited supply and medication and you can't get your medication because it's too early, with this disaster declaration, it'll allow you to pick up your medications that you need to get early, which is very important, because you know how the insurances can be sometimes. When you have 3 days left, they're like, no, you can't get it. Well, this will let you be able to get that. You need to make sure you have water. I do have water. We do have a change of clothes ready to go. I've been doing this for so long, I really don't get the opportunity to evacuate. I have to stay here and shelter down to make sure that we get everything running. But most people, when I do a drop or a go bag, it has my change of clothes, it has my medications, it has everything ready to go. When you evacuate, make sure you take your insurance cards, all of that stuff in a plastic bag so it won't get wet. Making sure you download your computer onto a thumb drive, because sometimes the computers can get damaged. So if you keep a lot of stuff on there, make sure you get that done. Birth certificates, important papers.
Put that stuff on the cloud. Take pictures of your property.
Yes, please
do. Everybody's got cell phones. Did we miss anything? We need to remind folks right now as we get ready for hurricane season.
Just remember, we gave a good test on that ISTAT, the individual assistance tool that the state put down to take pictures of your damage. That was a very good tool that allowed us to show how much damage there was really quickly. So make sure you learn to download that. Make sure you have that ready to go, and we'll do more advertising on there, and it is on our website as well.
Okay, that's at the Cameron County website.
Cameron County website, yes.
Tom Hushen with the Emergency Management Office for Cameron County. I hope this is the only conversation we have for tropical season, Tom. All right?
So do I.
Let's try to keep it that way. Thank you much. And we wish you and the crew the best. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
The Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Check of news, the service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. Legislation abolishing the Texas Lottery Commission has been sent to the governor for his approval. It would allow lottery games to continue, but would abolish the Lottery Commission and give oversight to the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. City of Rio Hondo needs a new police chief. City commissioners came together on Friday and fired their police chief. Price of eggs dropping nearly 61% since March. An iPad Instagram app will be coming out sometime this year. And they're starting to sell ticket packages for the World Cup. Dallas, right? Dallas and Houston, the Texas cities that will be hosting the World Cup, right? Among other cities nationwide. So the Dallas ones, they're listing some ticket packages. Least expensive ticket package for AT&T, $24,000 for the Champions Club Lounge at the stadium. Does not include parking, by the way. The more premium would be $41,400. Get you sideline seating for every match, lounge access, all that food and drinks, side parking, and champagne upon arrival. Although Freddie said if he were to buy something like that, he would ask for another drink instead of champagne. He doesn't like the bubbly stuff. What would you ask for to drink? Coke, sweet tea with some lemons. Make sure put some on. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV, your station for Astros baseball. Check of sports up next.
It's hurricane season. The time to prepare is now. Stay ahead of the storm with Tropical Coverage 2025 on News Talk 710 KURV, your trusted source for real-time updates. With resources from AccuWeather and the National Weather Service, we'll bring you the information you need to be ready and be prepared.
Now's the time to get a plan.
Tropical Coverage 2025 is powered by Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and AC, McAfee Agency, Insurance, and News Talk 710 KURV. Spotlight on Your Health, brought to you by DHR Health.
From DHR Health, ENT specialist and dermatology specialist, Dr. Keith Piku.
We do a lot of skin cancers. Dermatologists do a lot of skin cancers in the head and neck area, elsewhere on the skin. The reason I do the ENT surgery is I like the surgery. It's kids with bad tonsils. If you've got someone who's got a bad nose, not breathing well, and I can fix it. Everything that exists in the world with regards to dermatology and ENT exists down here. I've seen things like Chagas disease down here, leprosy down here. You don't see very much of it in the United States anymore. Usually you see it in third world countries like in Africa, India, places like that. It's seen down in South America and Central America. So some of those people wind up coming here, but it's supposedly spread here in the United States through the armadillos. Well, there's a lot of armadillos in Texas. I still remember one gentleman who saw me in Weslaco with all these nodules all over his skin. Well, we did a biopsy. He had lepromatous leprosy. Whatever comes in the office, I'm happy. The interesting thing is a lot of times I have a patient who comes in for both. Dermatology, ENT surgery too.
Dr. Keith Piku, ENT specialist and dermatology specialist, DHR Health.
This has been Spotlight on Your Health, brought to you by DHR Health. For you, for life. Coming up after the Valley's Morning News, stay tuned for The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez, starting at 9, followed by The Dana Show with Dana Lash at 11 on News Talk 710 KURV, KURV.com, and on the Radio Potami app.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
With your TSN Sports Minute, I'm Jacob Ray. The Texas Rangers played the rubber match of their series with the St. Louis Cardinals. The Rangers had Jacob deGrom on the mound, and he was spectacular once again, allowing just 1 run on 4 hits and 4 strikeouts across 6 innings of work. On top of that, the Rangers offense actually showed up today with timely hitting as they pounced on Cardinal pitching, scoring 8 runs and winning 8-1. The Astros tried to avoid this sweep against the Rays, and that game was actually a pitcher's duel. The Astros' Hunter Brown went 6 shutout, allowing just 1 hit on 5 strikeouts, while the Rays' ace Taj Bradley went 7 innings, allowing just 1 run on 10 strikeouts. The Astros' 1 run in the first inning would prove to be enough as they win it 1-0. I'm Jacob Ray, and this has been your TSN Sports Minute.
Start with baseball. DJ LeMahieu drove into to help the Yankees crush the Dodgers to avoid the sweep in L.A. The Rockies swept again, this time by the Mets. Rockies have dropped 8 straight, fall to 9-50. That's a worst record through 59 games in MLB history. NCAA baseball tournament for the first time since 2014. The top 2 seeds, Vandy and Texas, were eliminated during the regionals. NBA Finals tip-off Thursday when the Thunder take on the Pacers in Game 1 from OKC. That's sports. I'm Ronza Moss.
Someone posted on X, Freddie, the Rockies have only won 9 games this season. Hunter Brown just won his 8th game for the Astros. The pitcher.
Wow.
That's kind of puts that into perspective. Yikes. I wonder if anyone goes to these games. Anybody in the seats? AccuWeather says, highs today, triple digits. Enjoy today, tomorrow, next day, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that chance of rain that AccuWeather teased us with last week, yeah, they pulled it. Porter Bridge wait times, as posted on KURV.com. If you're driving back to Brownsville, we got about 15 minutes at all 3 major bridges. And if you're driving back to McAllen, let's see, about 45 minutes at the Hidalgo Bridge, 10 minutes at the other 2. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News, business news, check of your money, coming up in 2 minutes on the Valley's Morning News, also at Radio Para Mi. Download it today.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or Amazon, or newnordicusa.com.
Probably already thinking ahead, what's for lunch, what's for dinner? I've got it. El Pato, $5.99 specials every day. Could be the chicken enchiladas, wonderful yellow cheese. It's so tasty. That gravy, rice, bean, only $5.99 every day at El Pato. They got different $5.99 specials. These plates, you can stack them up, take care of lunch, and especially take care of dinner. We do that quite a bit. Chicken guisado, everything is so good. It's like mom's recipe. It's like abuelita's recipe. Chicken guisado, carne guisada. On Fridays, they got the 1 beef and 1 chicken pato with a rice and bean, only $5.99. The big special right now that includes a drink. Man, that's a lot of food. Check this out. It is the big fajita, the beef fajita pato. The flour tortilla fresh off the skillet, the rice, the bean. Try the refried beans. All the beans are awesome, but the refried, they're wonderful. You can make more tacos out of it. So try the enchilada fajita plate with 2 chicken or cheese enchiladas, the fajita pato I told you about, rice, bean, and the drink, and amazing. Only $9.99. It is so good. I know you're hungry. Phone it in or order online. Get those breakfast tacos, those patos right now at elpato.com.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in the McAllen at 956-803-0058 in Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Major steel stocks jumped this morning following President Trump hiking tariffs tied to the metal. Shares of mining company Cleveland-Cliffs popped roughly 25% following the announcement, while Steel Dynamics and Nucor each jumped more than 10%. France's Sanofi has agreed to buy U.S.-based Blueprint Medicines Corporation for over $9 billion to boost its position in rare immunology diseases. LSEG data says this would be the biggest healthcare deal in Europe this year. Reuters reports Tesla's new car sales in Sweden fell nearly 54% in May from a year earlier to 503 vehicles. And that's according to data from Mobility Sweden. And Paradromics has implemented its brain-computer interface in a human for the very first time. The procedure took place at the University of Michigan with a patient who was already undergoing neurosurgery to treat epilepsy. Futures are moderately lower. Friday, the Dow Industrials gained 54. That's your money now.
AccuWeather says triple digits today and tomorrow, and enjoy it the entire week. Well, that chance of rain they talked about last week, yeah, they pulled it. So triple digits in the forecast from AccuWeather. Right now, temperatures upper 70s. It's 79 here at 710 KURV in Mission. Fox News coming up in 2 minutes on the Valley's Morning News. Be sure to join us at Radio Para Mí. Download the free app and listen on your smart device. Kubota Orange Days at Amigo Power Equipment with JP and Jeff waiting for you. That way you can save big, get the financing that you need, and save big on the Kubota equipment that you need to get the job done at the ranch and the lease. The versatile RTVs from Kubota. The zero-turn mowers that are awesome to ride and fun to use and get the job done. Chop up all that grass at your palatial estate or at the ranch. And, of course, the number one selling compact tractor in the nation. It's Kubota, and you'll find it at Amigo Power Equipment. And now through June 13th at Amigo Power Equipment, JP and Jeff will hook you up with the Kubota equipment that you need. Some of it for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 84 months if you qualify, or take Plan B. You could get up to $3,000 off select Kubota compact tractors. KubotaOrangeDays.com for more information, or the Amigo Power Equipment website as well. Kubota Orange Days. Take advantage of the big savings and great financing at Amigo Power Equipment, Edinburgh, Monte Cristo.
It's hurricane season. The time to prepare is now. Stay ahead of the storm with Tropical Coverage 2025 on News Talk 710 KURV, your trusted source for real-time updates. With resources from AccuWeather and the National Weather Service, we'll bring you the information you need to be ready and be prepared.
Now's the time to get a plan.
Tropical Coverage 2025 is powered by Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and AC, McAfee Agency, Insurance, and News Talk 710 KURV.
In the Rio Grande Valley, 18-wheeler traffic is heavier than anywhere else in Texas. So if you're involved in an accident, know that big insurance companies will not play fair because they only care about profits, not your health, not the costs you have incurred, and certainly not your pain and suffering. So if you're involved in an 18-wheeler accident, we will stop insurance companies from taking advantage of you. 1-800-CAR-CRASH. The J. Gonzalez Law Firm, a force for justice.
News and weather information at your fingertips.
I've got internet! Me too! Internet activity in all sectors, sir!
Log on to KURV.com. News Talk 710 KURV.
It is a Monday morning edition. It's June 2nd, 2025. Thank you much for joining us on the Valley's Morning News. It's News Radio for South Texas. The show producer Fred Cruz and AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine. I'm Sergio Sanchez, joined by like-minded South Texans, your family. You're tuning into KURV. Highs today, triple digits, and enjoy those for this week. The entire week, it looks like we're going to have triple digits. News on 710 KURV is a service of J. Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. 8 people hurt during a solidarity march in Boulder, Colorado.
The FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
Denver FBI Special Agent in Charge, Mark McCulloch. Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House.
The suspect is a 45-year-old Egyptian man who overstayed a visa in 2022. That's what makes him an illegal immigrant. And the reason the feds were so quick to call this a terror attack is because of what the alleged attacker said, Free Palestine, and who he targeted, a group of people who were rallying to free Hamas's hostages.
Police arresting Mohammed Sabri Solomon. He has a court date 1:30 p.m. local time, charged with multiple felonies. European Union Trade Commissioner, that's Maros Sefcovic, will meet his U.S. counterpart Jameson Greer in Paris on Wednesday. That from the EU spokesperson today. America's listening to Fox News.
Up in Austin, legislation that abolishes the Texas Lottery Commission has been sent to the governor for his signature.
The state Senate has approved House amendments to Senate Bill 3070. KXAN Television reports it would allow lottery games to continue, but would abolish the Lottery Commission and give control of the lottery and bingo to the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. The decision comes following several scandals for the commission. State Senator Bob Hall of Edgewood filed the legislation after originally filing a bill to eliminate the lottery entirely. But that still might happen. A sunset review would study how the lottery is functioning under the Department of Licensing and Regulation by 2029.
What President Trump calls the big, beautiful tax and spending bill is now at the U.S. Senate.
The multi-trillion-dollar package narrowly passed the House, and the Senate will debate the measure this month, where Republicans can only afford to lose 3 votes to pass it. Democrats complain the White House is trying to cut Medicaid and other social safety nets by billions of dollars. Republicans, like Office of Management and Budget Director Russell Vought, say the bill will cut the federal deficit. He spoke with CNN's State of the Union.
This bill doesn't increase the deficit or hurt the debt. In fact, it lowers it by $1.4 trillion.
After passage in the Senate, House lawmakers will have to approve any changes. I'm Scott Carr in Washington.
Anyone in default on student loans and also receiving Social Security money might be in for a surprise.
Beginning this month, a share of people's benefits can be garnished if they have defaulted on their student loans. The Trump administration announced on April 21st that the U.S. Department of Education would resume collection activity on the country's $1.6 trillion in student loans. For nearly half a decade, the government did not go after those who'd fallen behind as part of COVID-era policies. According to the government, nearly 500,000 Americans aged 62 and older may be impacted. I'm Rob Martier.
For those of you who suspected for the longest time that some cops were on a quota to go get some tickets, check this out. The Houston Police Department announced last week they're ending a policy that required, again, this is only Houston, they required police officers to initiate at least 1 traffic stop a day. That policy has been sunset. A salmonella outbreak in cucumbers has expanded to include dozens more people reported sick in 18 states. Target stores have been added to the list of retailers that sold recalled cucumbers or ready-to-eat products with cucumbers. It's warning folks just to throw that stuff away. And a bill, back to Texas, a bill requiring air conditioning in Texas prisons has died in the Texas Senate.
Passed out of the House, the bill would have required air conditioning installed in phases by the end of 2032, with each phase capped at $100 million. Dr. Amit Dominic, the founder and president of Texas Prisons Community Advocates, says this is the political will of Upper Texas leadership.
Well, the propaganda would state that they're all murderers and rapists and they all just need to suffer. And that's the general sentiment. However, what they're not acknowledging is this is well beyond punishment.
She says there are laws to protect dogs and pigs, the TDCJ, from summer heat, but nothing for inmates, and says the state is literally baking people, says prison guards are suffering as well. Barbara Schwartz, News Talk 710 KURV.
You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News. Also at Radio Para Mi, it is a free app. Hope you can download it. That way you can listen by your smart device, tablet, your phone. Radio Para Mi. Download it today. It's free. Top real estate team in this entire region. It's the Ryan and Brian real estate team. They can help you get that household. And by the way, even if you don't have your, let's say, your realtor's license and you're looking for a change, an exciting change, an opportunity to grow professionally, yeah, you need to call the Ryan and Brian real estate team. Call my friend Brian Reed. Here's the number for him specifically. Say, hey, Brian, I've been thinking about a new career. Can you help me become an expert in selling homes and buying homes? 956-307-4544. That's the number specifically to Brian. 307-4544. See, if you're listening to Radio Para Mi, you can do the rewind and listen to that phone number again. The Ryan and Brian real estate team, top team in the area. Ryan and Brian, they make the buying process, selling process real easy. If you thought about buying an investment property, Yeah, Ryan and Brian can help you with that as well. Start the conversation today at 956-540-2536. The website, ryanandbrian.com. That's ryanandbrian.com.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Brian. Go to ryanandbrian.com.
At Rivetta's Machinery in Donna, they're bringing the best deals on Coyote equipment to your job site, your farm, or your backyard. Right now, take advantage of 0% interest or up to $6,000 cash back on Coyote track loaders and skid steers. These are machines built for maximum performance no matter the task. But don't stop there. They're also offering fantastic savings on Coyote tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles. And whether you're hauling something, mowing, tackling other big jobs, Coyote has the equipment to help you get it done. If you're looking for great deals and great service from a team that treats you like family, look no further than Rivetta's Machinery and Coyote. Start your next project right. Visit Rivetta's Machinery in Donna or browse their deals when it suits you at mynewtractor.com. That's their website, mynewtractor.com. Rivetta's for the long haul. See dealer for full details.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider.
Listen to Sergio Sanchez every morning on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Parami app. Stay informed with exclusive interviews from top local and state leaders, plus economic development news, business, and medical reports, and all the local news from the RGV. It's everything you need to know to start your day right. Sergio Sanchez and News Talk 710 K.